guys, today we're going to be reacting to a video called European Things Americans Find Weird. This video is by somebody named Barbara. We're going to tell you if we find it weird or not.
Europeans eat pizza with a fork and knife. Yes, that is true. That is true.
Wait, really?
But we do think, obviously, it's kind of weird. I think Chicago, that's known for its deep dish pizza, and I think there they eat it with a fork and knife because it's so thick. But yes, it is weird in most places to eat pizza with a fork and knife. I would feel very snobby doing that, for sure.
If you're out in a restaurant, most of the people eat pizza with fork and knife. Usually I tend to do that too,
I could just picture people here and be like, oh, who's this guy think he is?
Also, another thing that people looked at me really suspiciously when I was in America and I ordered a slice of pizza, I would ask for ketchup. And they would just be like, why do you need that? Because in Slovenia, for example, if you go to a pizza place or you get a slice of pizza, you always have ketchup or mayo on the counter for you to grab and just spray.
I have a question for you. Have you ever done that?
I have never done that. The only thing I have done is I like to dip my pizza in ranch.
That's kind of similar.
That is not ketchup though.
I've never done it with ketchup or mayo. Although I swear my grandpa or my dad has told me that my grandpa used to like to do this because I knew that he used to like to do it with scrambled eggs.
It's good with scrambled eggs.
I can imagine it's good on pizza, although to me it feels like pouring water on yourself in a pool.
Ranch and pizza though is so good.
To-go bags, boxes for food aren't available. When I first moved to America, I was baffled that groceries are being packed by other people.
I saw the little asterisk that came up in the top left. Yeah, that's not, we wouldn't call our grocery bags to-go bags.
People in the supermarket, when I'm at the register, I was like, no, it's fine, I got it. And then the person who was standing there was like, no, that's literally my job. Like, that's why I'm standing here. And I was like, but I can do it myself. But in Slovenia, it's been a thing for a long time that you can either grab a large shopping bag or you usually just carried it with you. Usually Europeans, at least Slovenians, we have a lot of
I'm gonna pause it to say this one's not that weird to us because you're from California. I lived there for a little bit. This is pretty normal in California. They're trying to eliminate waste with plastic bags. So there you do have to either buy a small bag or take your own bag.
Yeah, even I used to work at H&M and you have to, even though they're paper bags, you still have to pay for them. You know, a weird thing is when I worked at H&M, I actually had people visiting from other states on the East Coast and I would ask them like, do you want a bag for 10 cents? Because you always have to ask, because some people get mad. And some people would say like, you have to pay for bags here? And then I'd have to say, well, in California you do, and then they'd say they're from the East Coast somewhere. So even people from America sometimes wouldn't even know you have to pay for bags.
And they get mad about 10 cents after spending $60 on clothing.
I had many people getting mad at me asking that. Not joking.
Casual drinking, just being out in public with visible booze and consuming doesn't happen in America. That is very true. That's what I missed a lot when I lived in the States.
I will say it doesn't happen a lot, but you will see like a homeless person once in a while having a beer on the sidewalk, which obviously is illegal.
Yeah, that's not like a cultural phenomenon. That's somebody doing it illegally. There is one big area where you're allowed to do it in the US, and that's Las Vegas. You can do it there without getting in trouble. I think there's a few places in the US where you can do it legally.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you are not allowed at all to drink in public. I don't think most cops will do much more than tell you to pour it out or give you a ticket. But I mean, if they were being a really big jerk, I think they could technically arrest you. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's very common. But yeah, you're not allowed to.
I was gonna say in Texas, when we're visiting some friends, we went to like a art gallery and there was like one big area and then like a little, you could walk to like the other side to see the other art, and we got some drinks and we're trying to leave that part to go to the other part, and they actually stopped us and said we had to drink it on that part, although you could still buy alcohol on the other side.
And it was like a 3-foot difference.
You can go buy a 6-pack of beer, especially those of us who went to school in the capital city. You have this thing called the beach. So Plaja, which is around the Ljubljanica River, which was the most common place to go out drinking. Everybody usually just had their own bottle of wine.
That looks so fun if you have a respectful society that doesn't get too out of hand. I could just imagine here that, especially with our car-centric society, this could get really bad really fast.
That they would casually sip on throughout the rest of the evening, and we would just do that. We would hang out and play games,
Sounds fun.
and just like sing and stuff like that. And it would be a lot cheaper than going to a bar, and I miss that a lot in America. Someone also said on Quora that people calling America America is strange. This one really shocked me. Before going to Europe, I would only reference the United States as the United States. In Europe, if I said I was from the United States, people often didn't understand. What kind of people were you talking to? A lot of languages, when you translate United States of America, it just sounds weird to say. For example, in Slovenian, we say Združene države Amerike.
I'm not gonna try
It
that.
just sounds weird to say Združene države. No, you say you're going to America. The next one is commenting on our tap water. Spent a summer in Germany. They had the cleanest, safest, best tasting tap water, but nobody drank it and they called it toilet water. That's true. That's very true. Tap water here is delicious, especially in Slovenia.
Now it's pretty known that it's nasty to drink tap water, but I don't know if your parents have said it, but my parents have and their parents have, about when they were kids, they would just drink from the hose. Now though, it's looked down upon greatly unless you have like a filter. I mean, we have bottled water just because it's kind of nasty. I don't know, like, you know, us Americans, we don't really trust the government, so we don't think they're doing a great job with the tap water. And Flint, Michigan is a testament to that.
I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I swear I used to drink tap water and it tasted fine. But then as I got older, I obviously stopped drinking. I don't drink tap water now, but it used to taste good when I was younger, but now it's just something's like up with the tap water now.
Europeans love hot dogs.
We do too, though.
Do we? I always thought that was like a American thing. I thought it was like a, you know, New York City.
Yeah, I thought that was like the big thing for America, like 4th of July, hamburgers and hot dogs.
Your Euro bathrooms are too small, as are some of your elevators. So yeah, apparently European bathrooms are too small and our elevators are too small.
We didn't get that vibe in Ireland. It felt fine. And we like the bathrooms because the door goes all the way to the wall.
I like that.
Doesn't have a crack in it. Although people in the TikTok comments were making it sound like you could just walk through that crack or something. It's not as big as Europeans like to make it sound, but it is big enough to be a little weird.
You have to be like trying to look in there. I have done it where I see if like a door is open and I like accidentally like see the person, but I've never seen like a private part or anything. I've only seen someone like either moving, like their arm moving. It's literally for like a split second, or like a shoe.
It's just awkward enough that even happened.
Putting mayo on breads or hot dogs or gas French fries to most Americans is rather gross. And salted candies such as black licorice makes most Americans gag.
I don't put mayonnaise on hot dogs, but I eat my hot dogs plain.
I've never heard of mayonnaise on a hot dog. I've heard of mustard, ketchup, and relish. Mayonnaise might be good, I don't know.
Europeans dress up better on airplanes, trains, etc., whereas too many Americans dress like slobs.
I don't think an American would find that weird, but I do agree. I wish we dressed better. I like watching videos of seeing people dressed in suits and stuff. It felt classier. It felt like you cared, and it does kind of suck that like so many people in the US just kind of wear athleisure, like graphic tees or sweats when you're going outside. People wear pajamas to the grocery store, and I'm guilty of it, and you're guilty of it, but I try not to do it.
Only at night when we're making a quick run. If we were to go shopping, I don't wear pajama pants. But if it's like the store closes in like 30 minutes and it's like 9:30, it closes at 10, I'll go in my pajama pants. But not if I'm going out somewhere. I will say I always see people commenting that on TikTok that Americans dress like slobs. I'm gonna say it's kind of true.
I didn't know that's a European thing. I also didn't know that people dress up nicely for airplane. I would never. I mean, if I'm gonna sit there for 11 hours, you bet your sweet
And
ass
she has the
I'm gonna
opposite
look
take.
like a hobo. Europeans smoke a lot. I mean, a lot.
True.
That is very true. That was a very big shocker for me when I first moved to the States.
I wouldn't say we found that weird when we went because I kind of already knew that, but it is pretty frowned upon here. I mean, people still smoke, but we've had so many ad campaigns and, of course, the rising price of cigarette cartons that people just stopped smoking. Instead, now they took up vaping and zenning, so it's not like the health got much better. People just have a different way of ruining their body.
I will say I hate the smell of cigarettes. So when we were in Ireland, there was a lot of people smoking cigarettes. I just hate the smell.
Closing and opening times for restaurants are a bit different. We don't open as late as some Europeans do. That is also something that I've noticed, yeah.
I do remember there was like, I think it was it was a Monday, and there was like a bunch of restaurants closed.
Yeah, we definitely have like a hyper fixation on working and money, so restaurants are going to stay open.
Traveling from one country to another in the European Union is almost like driving from one state to another state in the US.
True.
Those that are in the Schengen zone, we don't have to have passports technically. I mean, you still have to have it on you and, ID yourself at most borders. They check your ID, especially now, especially after everything that happened this year.
It is pretty similar. The size of the US to a lot of Europe. You don't have to show your ID at every state border here, but there are checkpoints.
I think certain states will take a lot longer though. If we were to drive to Texas right now or New Mexico, it's a little farther, especially if you're going through Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Your electrical outlets are different, making it impossible for Americans with laptop, tablet, and desktop computers to recharge without a Euro-style adapter. Dear Ernest, you will be shocked to find that not entire Europe has the same electric.
Dang, I didn't even know that. I guess I should have. Shout out to Barbara for putting this on screen. I did not know this. That's crazy. We knew now about the UK and Irish one that's in the top left.
Right here.
There's the one that applies to British Irish. Italy looks like Legos.
Most Euro nations do not have tipping, which is nice, but feels strange to Americans.
We've gone twice to Ireland, and if we get the chance, which I really hope we do, get the chance to go back to Europe, this is always going to feel strange just because it's so ingrained here.
It definitely feels a lot different. But to me, I don't know how to explain. It's weird because I'm not used to that. We're used to tipping, but in a way it's not weird because that's what they're used to.
And I kind of like it. Like, it's nice not having to calculate, like, I think this person was so good, so I'll do 20%.
How vastly superior Euro bakeries and pastry shops are compared to most American bakeries. I think that's true, yeah. What I
We didn't test it out, I don't know.
In the US was quality bread that doesn't have sugar in it. McDonald's and Burger King fast food costs more in Europe than in the US. We don't get that. It's not even healthy food.
Unfortunately, that's becoming increasingly untrue as McDonald's here just keeps jacking up their prices.
I didn't really notice much of a difference when we got McDonald's in Ireland.
I think that's unfortunately inflation.
Food. Fast food here is not a
That's kind of weird that like the using the comma instead of a period. We flip it.
Food
there it is. We don't do that. That reads weird here. The $6.45 for that Sven burger or the Lars burger being $4.95, that would be a period.
Yes, that's about it.
All right, well, shout out to Barbara. Also, props to her. Like, you can hear a little bit of an accent, but she speaks English really well and even knows like slang and stuff. Like, I wouldn't know what the hell to say in Slovenian. Crazy. I mean, honestly, props to all of you guys in Europe for knowing all these languages. Like, we only know one language fluently. I know cuss words in Spanish. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you grow up in South Texas and go to high school there and middle school.
I actually thought this video was really interesting. Some things on there were weird, but some things weren't. The one that stood out most to me was ketchup on pizza. I've never seen that before, but also I dip my pizza in ranch, so Europeans might think that's weird.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you there. Like I said, I think I'd had heard of that before, but it's really uncommon, and like my analogy, it just sounds like you're putting more ketchup on your ketchup. I know it's slightly different because Heinz ketchup versus tomato paste, but it just seems kind of redundant. Though I do really like that electrical outlet infographic, and that kind of stood out as well. I didn't know there was that many different types of sockets or outlets. So really cool, very well put together. Shout out to Barbara. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you liked our take on these things. We're only two Americans from the West Coast. Maybe some East Coast Americans or Midwesterners would think a lot differently than we did and think everything's weird or think everything's not that weird. We'll have to see. Shout out to you guys for continuing to watch our videos. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the Passport Pals. If you'd like to become a member, it's $2.99 a month. You can become a member of the channel. It really helps us out. And thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.